Every year we herald the coming of Christmas by turning on the lights. And the light does more than create a festive mood. Light brings hope. For Christians, Jesus is the light of the world. But we can't celebrate his birthday today. His birthday today in quite a Euro way. People of all faiths have unable to gather as it would wish, such as Passover, Easter, Eid, and Vaisakhi. We need life to go on. Last month, fireworks lit up the sky around Windsor. Its Hindus, Sikhs, and Jains celebrated Diwali, the festival of lights, providing joyous moments of unity, despite social distancing. Remarkably, a year that has necessarily kept people apart has, in many ways, brought us closer. Across the Commonwealth, my family and I have been inspired by stories of people volunteering in their communities, helping those in need. In the United Kingdom and around the world, people have risen magnificently to the challenge of the year, and I'm so proud and moved by this quiet, indomitable spirit. To our young people in particular, I say thank you for the part you played. This year, we celebrated International Nurses Day on the 200th anniversary of the birth of Florence Nightingale. As with other nursing pioneers like Mary Seacole, Florence Nightingale shone a light of hope across the world. Today, our frontline services still shine that light for us, supported by the amazing achievements of modern science, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. We continue to be inspired by the kindness strangers and draw comfort that, even on the darkest nights, there's hope in the new dawn. Guaranteeing a Certain Kind of Year by Steve Pavlina. One thing I love about interesting commitments is that they can guarantee that I have a certain kind of year. This requires that I pick up commitment that is close to 100% under my direct control, so there's no significant risky external ones of failure. This year, I guarantee that I do a lot of writing by committing to publishing something new on my blog every day of the year. I guarantee that it will be a year of high internal reflection and high creative thought. I guarantee that I do the equivalent of writing several books to the medium of blogging. The surface aspect to the commitment though. It's one thing to look ahead to another year with goals and intentions. But goals and intentions don't guarantee that you actually have a different kind of year. Truly committing yourself to the action side is very different than finding some result you'd like to see and hoping for the best. Goals are great, but setting a goal guarantees nothing. I've noticed that something shifts within me when I make commitment that I take seriously. There's a moment where the weight of what I'm going to do sinks then, but it's actually believe and expect that I'm really going to do it. I don't have to hope for a certain kind of year. It feels like it's a done deal before it starts. Instead of optimism, I feel certainty. In 4 months by Sophia Alexander and Steve Mann. Mackenzie Scott is giving away her fortune at an unprecedented pace, donating more than $4 billion in 4 months after announcing $1.7 billion in gifts in July. The world's 18th richest person outlined the latest contributions on the blog post Tuesday, since she asked a team to figure out how to give away her fortune fast. Scott's wealth has climbed $23.6 billion this year, up to $60.7 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, as Am.com Inc. The primary source of fortune has surged. The pandemic has been a reckoning in the lives of Americans already struggling, she wrote in the post on Medium. Economic losses and health outcomes alike have been worse for women, for people of color, and for people living in poverty. Meanwhile, it has substantially increased the world billionaires. Scott's gifts this year across $6 billion, which has to be one of the biggest annual distributions by a living individual to working charities, according to Melissa Berman, Chief Executive Office of Rockefeller Advisors. Berman says Scott's donations show that it's possible to give large amounts quickly without requiring nonprofits to jump through a lot of hoops to get money. The size of Scott's gifts may also disprove a common theory, that is, how to deploy vast amounts of money without running into trouble or proving wasteful. A Key to Healing Our Divide by Liu Babata. The country I live in has a pretty bitter divide between many of its people, and I'll admit that often feels hope to me. If you don't live in the US, I'm sure you can see a similar divide in your country as well. People judging each other, angry and fearful, feeling very little understanding and compassion, while all doing and blaming the other side. So what can we do to heal this divide? For me, the answer lies in compassion. Compassion for others and our country and the world who are suffering. Compassion for our neighbors, for people who have different views, for real key to this is in setting aside the views. Setting aside the views and setting aside being right. The real key to hating this device is letting go of what we think we know. It's only when we let go of what we think we know that we can be curious about the other side. Try to understand why we do what we do, why we feel the way we feel. Try to step into the world and get them. It's only when we let go of our knowledge and step into non-knowing that we can really see their side and feel compassion for them. Once we do that, the compassion can come and healing can begin. Set aside what things we know. Open to now knowing how things should be. Open to curiosity about their side. Open to feeling compassion for what they're going through. Let's connect with each other and come together. Waiting Through the Winter by John Paul. March is the third month. The 11th is November. One plane has been landed, but the other has new members. We wait for clearance a month away while vaccines get produced. We brace for colder winter days, though the holidays seduce. Some gather into groups unsafe, rebellious, and without fear, while others hide away from all, isolated, and minds unclear. There is no perfect answer to this year of perfect storm. Sequester just a few months more, and avoid the misinformed. For millions of jobless, Christmas is a season to endure, not celebrate. Even with the prospect of a new federal aid, many Americans face a holiday of tough choices, trying to celebrate or dealing with the present needs, like Nelson D. Shaw and Julian Freeman. Nicole Craig, Anna Midland, mother of two from his for her two children, and ham she bought with food stamps will be far less than the usual holiday dinner. Mom behind on rent and utility bills. She has been struggling to afford the formula and debtors. But there is one thing she couldn't give up: a small Christmas tree and cleaning to go with it. Miss Craig spent last $7 in her bank account on tinsel, a symbol of light in the darkness of 2020. It's my baby's first Christmas, she said. I wanted him to be able to see a Christmas tree. Although Miss Craig, 42, lost her job as a counselor for at-risk youth through no fault, she can't help blaming herself when she sees Christmas. Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children will nurse all lost-necked beds, while visions of sugar plums dance in their heads. And Mommy in her couches of the eye makeup had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When I hold along there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breath, the moon fallen snow, gave a lustre of midday to objects below. When what to my wandering eyes to the pier, while the miniature lay, and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little driver so lively and quick, I knew in the moment he must be Sydney. More rapidly across his course she came, and we saw the shouted and called them by name. Now Dash, Dancer, now Crescent, Vixen, on Common, on Cupid, on Donna, listen. To the top of a porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away all, as lead before the wild hurricane fly, while they meet with obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the house of the castle they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then, in the twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and the twinkling hoof. As I drew my head was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his sacred foot, his clothes all tarnished with ashes and soot. Upon the poison and the flower aspect, and it looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes hard chapel, his finger all muddy, his cheeks like roses, his nose like a cherry. His drawing mouth was round like a ball. The ear on his chin was white as snow. The sun had tightly helped making teeth, and the spot circled his head like a ring. With our broad face and a little round belly that shook her lap like a ball jelly. He was chubby and plump, a rather jolly old chap, and I laughed over the sign, just by myself. A waiter was on a table of his hand. Don't fail me to know, I had nothing to say. He spoke not a word, but went straight to the wood, and filled all its button, and turned to the grill, and then he finger aside at his nose, and gave a nod. Over the chimney he rolled. His parental sleigh, to its king gave a whistle, and away we all flew like the down of the thistle. But I heard Miss Lane's parents drove outside. Happy Christmas tour, and it's all a good night. Helicopter Mom versus Jimmy Buffett Dad. Comedian Michelle Boto, daughter Hot Pop, was over when she and her husband welcomed twins after struggling with her fertility. Little did she know by Michelle Boto. These differences in our backgrounds have created interesting pushing pull. I mean annoying. To my husband, I'm not a helicopter mom. I'm a draw on top of a snowplow mom. To me, my husband is too casual and relaxed. Top of the time is Jimmy Buffett concert. I'm constantly thinking, okay, which pens, coins, or sharp items on the floor can they put in their mouths? Where the fragile objects they rub and possibly break on each other's heads like the Three Stooges. Are all the electrical lamps plugged in and covered? In the meantime, my husband is letting them climb bookcase. And when can get done, he says, figure it out in Dutch. Figure what out exactly? How many stitches will we need? Stitches, 1 feet apart. I felt I was the only watching the kids while he sat on the bench looking on. When I asked him to help me, he said, they're fine, just let them be. Let them be? No, emotional rotisserie chickens just run by themselves? What strange case? and new objects? What if they eat sand? What? Aren't you fair? Don't you care? He hates me with. Worry and anxiety are how I show affection. I would have argued about too busy making sure the twins weren't taking their passive parts in the sandbox. I guess the point is, who is likely? Am I overly anxious? Is it too terrible? Does every couple experience this? DoorDash hit $38 billion evaluation on the Dog Range IPO by Chris Tate and Katie Roof. DoorDash Inc. raised $3.37 billion in an initial public offering above its market range, kicking the high gear a year and an IPO surge that consumer-oriented companies that successfully navigated the coronavirus pandemic. The San Francisco-based company sold 33 million shares Tuesday for $102 each, after marketing them for $90 to $95 each, according to a statement, early reports. DoorDash has a fully diluted value of about $38 billion, which includes employee stock competence and risk stock unit details in its filings. DoorDash's IPO is the third largest used this year, exceeded only by the $4 billion blank check company backed by billionaire Bill Ackman and the software maker Snowflake Inc. $3.86 billion offering, including so-called grocery shares. The company is a part of a cadre of consumer-facing web-based businesses that expect to go public in December, including home rental platform Airbnb, which is seeking to raise as much as $3.09 billion in its IPO Wednesday. Others include video game company Roblox Corp, installment loans provider Firm Holdings Inc., and Complex Logic Inc., the parent of online discount retailer Wish Inc. Food delivery startup DoorDash has seized on the pandemic-fueled booming demand for meals brought to your door, as well as the investor exuberance over new stock listings as the moves ahead with the IPO. Revenue in the first 9 months of the year more than tripled, and its net loss narrowed from the year earlier on a surge of new customers, the company said in the filing. Don't Be a Donkey by Derek Silvers, as in many different directions at once. Are you frustrated that the world wants you to pick one thing because you want to do them all? The problem is thinking short term, assuming that if you don't do all the things now, they won't happen. The solution is to think long term. Do just one thing for a few years, then another for a few years, then another. You may have heard this story. Bird and Dunstan standing halfway between a pile of hay and a bucket of water. It keeps looking left and right, trying to decide between hay and water. Unable to decide, it eventually dies of hunger and thirst. A donkey can't think with future. If it could, he clearly realized that he could get first drink the water, then go eat the hay. Don't be a donkey. You can do everything you want to do. You just need foresight and patience. If you're 30 now and have 6 different directions you want to pursue, then you can do each one for 10 years and have done all of them by the time you are 90. It seems ridiculous to plan to reach 90 when you are 30, right? But it's probably coming.